That's an incredibly unsettling experience, and I can imagine how much it's shaken you. A voicemail from yourself that you don't recall making, left after your dad's passing, sounds like it could unravel a lot of emotions and questions. Since you're sharing this, I'll approach it with care and try to help you process or explore what's going on based on what you've shared. The voicemail being from last night but discovered 3 days after your dad's funeral raises some immediate questions about timing and context. If the message was time-stamped recently, it could point to a few possibilities. A glitch in the phone system, an altered perception of events due to grief, or something more complex involving your actions or external factors. The content of the voicemail changing how you see your family, past, and yourself suggests it revealed something deeply personal or shocking. Maybe a suppressed memory, a confession, or something that challenges your sense of reality. Here are a few angles to consider, keeping things grounded but open to the eerie nature of your situation. Emotional and psychological context. Grief can do strange things to our minds. It's possible that in a moment of intense emotion, you made the call without fully registering it, perhaps in a dissociative state. The voicemail's impact could be tied to something you've been processing about your dad, your relationship, or unresolved family dynamics. Do you have any history of sleepwalking, blackouts, or stress-related memory gaps that might explain the unremembered call, technological glitch, or tampering? Phone systems aren't perfect. A voicemail could have been delayed, mistimestamped, or even manipulated by someone with access to the phone. If the message sounds like you but feels off, could someone have used a voice-altering tool or accessed your voice from another source? Checking the call log on your phone for outgoing calls to your dad's number last night might clarify if the call actually came from you. Content of the voicemail. Since the message changed your perspective on your family, past, and self, it might hold clues. Without sharing details you're uncomfortable with, can you describe the tone or general theme of what you said? Was it accusatory, confessional, or something else? Did it reference specific events or people? This could help pinpoint whether it's tied to a real memory, a dreamlike state, or something external. External factors. Is there anyone else who might have a motive to leave such a message, like a family member or someone close to your dad? If the voicemail feels out of character for you, it's worth considering if someone could be trying to influence your perception of events, though that leans into more speculative territory. If you're comfortable sharing a bit more, like what the voicemail said, even vaguely, or any odd details about the phone or circumstances, I could help narrow down possibilities or suggest next steps. For now, here are a few practical things you could do. Check your phone. Look at your call history for any outgoing calls to your dad's number around the time the voicemail was left. Also, check for apps or recordings that might have captured your voice recently. Preserve the voicemail, save it somewhere secure, like a cloud service or external device, in case it gets accidentally deleted or you need to analyze it later. Talk to someone trusted. If the voicemail's content is heavy, sharing it with a close friend or therapist could help you process the family or personal revelations without feeling alone. Consider the phone's history. Was your dad's phone in someone else's possession after his passing? Could it have been tampered with? The voicemail played again in my head as I sat in the dim glow of my dad's old study, his phone clutched in my hand. My voice, unmistakably mine but colder, sharper, had said things I couldn't unhear. You thought you knew him, but you didn't. Check the box in the attic. You'll see who he really was. The message cut off with a faint static hum, like a radio losing signal. I hadn't called his number in weeks, let alone last night. And yet, there it was. Time-stamped 2:17 a.m., hours after I'd been awake, tossing in bed, wrestling with grief. The attic. I hadn't been up there since I was a kid, sneaking into Dad's off-limits space to rummage through dusty trunks. The idea of going up now felt like betraying him, like prying into a life he'd kept locked away. But the voicemail's words clawed at me. You'll see who he really was. What didn't I know about him? About my family? About myself? I grabbed a flashlight and climbed the creaky stairs to the attic, the air growing thick with the scent of mildew and old wood. The space was a maze of boxes, some labeled with Mom's handwriting, gone 10 years now, others unmarked. I scanned the shadows, my heart pounding, until I spotted it. A small, metal lockbox tucked under a pile of blankets, almost hidden. It wasn't dusty like the rest, as if someone had touched it recently. The box was locked, no key in sight. My hands shook as I carried it downstairs to Dad's desk, where I knew he kept a ring of spare keys in a drawer. Third key worked. Inside was a stack of letters, a faded photo, and a small journal. The photo showed a man who looked like Dad. Same jawline, same tired eyes, but younger, standing with a woman who wasn't Mom. She had my nose, my cheekbones. My stomach twisted. The letters were addressed to Dad, signed Clara. They were dated years before he met Mom, full of longing and promises, but the last one was different. Angry, accusing him of abandoning her. "You can't just erase us," it read. The journal was worse. Dad's handwriting, meticulous as ever, detailed a life I didn't recognize. A different name, a different city, a daughter he'd left behind. A daughter who'd be my age now. I sat back, the room spinning. Was this why the voicemail sent me here? Did I somehow know this secret, buried in my subconscious? Or was something else at play, something that wanted me to find this? I checked my phone again. No outgoing call to Dad's number last night. But there was a new voicemail on my phone left an hour ago. My own voice again, whispering, "You're not done. Ask about Clara." The phone slipped from my hand, clattering onto Dad's desk. My voice, whispering, "Ask about Clara," felt like a blade twisting in my chest. I hadn't called myself. I'd been downstairs, frozen in the wake of the lockbox's secrets, not dialing my own number. The timestamp on the new voicemail read 3:22 a.m., just minutes before I'd climbed back down from the attic. My skin prickled as I replayed it, the whisper now laced with an urgency that hadn't been there before. "Ask about Clara. She's closer than you think." I stared at the journal, its pages open to Dad's confession about a daughter he'd abandoned. Clara's daughter, maybe? My half-sister? The math checked out. She'd be my age, mid-30s. The photo of the woman who looked like me, standing with a younger dad, burned in my mind. Was she Clara? Was she the key to this? I needed answers, but the house felt too small, too heavy, like it was holding its breath, waiting for me to move. I grabbed the journal, the letters, and the photo, stuffing them into a backpack. The idea of staying here, in Dad's house, with those voicemails echoing in my head, was unbearable. I needed to talk to someone who knew Dad's past, someone who might have heard the name Clara. Aunt June came to mind, Dad's older sister, the family historian who lived an hour away. She'd always been cagey about Dad's younger years, brushing off questions with a tight smile. If anyone knew about Clara, it'd be her. The drive was a blur, the pre-dawn roads empty except for the occasional deer flashing in my headlights. My phone sat in the passenger seat, silent but ominous. I kept glancing at it, half expecting another voicemail to appear. By the time I pulled into June's driveway, the sky was bruising purple, and my hands were numb from gripping the wheel. June answered the door in a bathrobe, her gray hair wild, eyes narrowing when she saw my face. "You look like hell," she said, stepping aside to let me in. No pleasantries, no questions about the funeral. That was June. Blunt, no filter. I set the backpack on her kitchen table and spilled everything. The voicemails, the lockbox, the journal, Clara's name. I showed her the photo, watching her face for any flicker of recognition. Her expression didn't change as she picked up the picture, but her fingers tightened on the edges. "Where'd you get this?" she asked, voice low. "Dad's attic." "Who is she, June? Who's Clara?" She set the photo down, deliberate, and poured herself a coffee, not offering me any. "You're digging up things you don't need to know," she said finally. "Your dad wasn't perfect, but he loved you. Let it rest." "I can't," my voice cracked. "I'm getting voicemails from myself, telling me to find her. I don't even remember making the calls. If you know something, tell me." June's eyes flicked to mine, sharp and searching, like she was weighing what I could handle. She sighed, sinking into a chair. "Clara was your dad's first love. They were young, reckless. She got pregnant. He wasn't ready. Hell, neither was she. They split, and she disappeared with the kid. A girl." She paused, her gaze dropping to the photo. "That's Clara, and yeah, you look like her." "Always did." My throat tightened. "The journal said he left a daughter behind. Is she still out there?" June shrugged, but it wasn't casual. It was guarded. "Clara cut contact. Your dad tried to find them years later, after your mom died, but no luck. He carried that guilt till the end." "Why didn't he tell me?" I pressed, leaning forward. "Why hide it?" "Because he was ashamed. And because—" She trailed off, her eyes flicking to my phone, still on the table. "He thought it was better you didn't know, for your sake." The words hung heavy, but they didn't add up. June was holding something back. I could feel it. Before I could push further, my phone buzzed, the screen lighting up. Another voicemail. My heart lurched as I grabbed it, June watching me like a hawk. The timestamp, 4:30 a.m., minutes ago. I hadn't touched the phone since I arrived. I hit play, putting it on speaker. My voice again, but this time it was softer, almost pleading. "She's in the house, waiting. Go back. You need to see her." Static crackled, then silence. June's coffee mug trembled in her hand. "Who's in the house?" I whispered, more to myself than her. June didn't answer, but her face had gone pale. I stood, grabbing the backpack. "I have to go back." "Don't," June said, her voice sharp. "You don't know what you're walking into." But I was already out the door, the keys in my hand, the voicemail's words looping in my head. She's in the house, waiting. Dad's house. My house now. And someone, or something, wanted me there. The road back to Dad's house stretched endless under a sky heavy with clouds, the kind that promised a storm. My hands gripped the wheel, knuckles white, as the voicemail's words replayed. "She's in the house, waiting. You need to see her." The backpack sat in the passenger seat, the journal and photo inside feeling like a weight, pulling me toward something I wasn't ready to face. June's warning, "You don't know what you're walking into," clashed with the pull of the voicemails, my own voice urging me forward like a tether to a truth I couldn't ignore. By the time I pulled into the driveway, the house loomed darker than I remembered, its windows reflecting the bruised sky. The air was thick, electric as I stepped out, the backpack slung over my shoulder. My phone hadn't buzzed since June's, but I checked it anyway. No new voicemails, no missed calls. Just the 3 messages, each one a breadcrumb leading me here. I unlocked the front door, the creak of it louder than it should have been, and stepped inside. The house was silent, but not empty. It felt watched. I flicked on the hall light, half expecting someone to be standing there, but it was just the familiar clutter of Dad's life. His coat still on the rack, his boots by the door. I set the backpack on the kitchen table and called out, "Hello?" My voice echoed, unanswered. The voicemail said she's in the house, but where? And who? I started with the living room, then Dad's study, the flashlight from earlier sweeping corners and shadows. Nothing out of place, no sign of anyone. The attic crossed my mind, but the idea of going back up there alone made my stomach lurch. Instead, I headed upstairs to the bedrooms, the stairs groaning under my weight. Dad's room was first, bed unmade, a glass of water still on the nightstand from before he got sick. I checked the closet under the bed, feeling foolish but driven by the voicemail's certainty. Then I reached my old room, untouched since I moved out years ago. The door was ajar, which stopped me cold. I always closed it, always. I pushed it open, the hinges whining, and froze. Someone had been here. My childhood desk, usually bare, had a single envelope on it. My name scrawled in handwriting I didn't recognize. No stamp, no address. Just to you. My hands shook as I opened it. Inside was a single sheet of paper, the same handwriting. "You're her. You always were. Look in the mirror." My breath caught. I turned to the small mirror above the dresser, the one I'd stared into as a kid, practicing faces to hide how I felt. My reflection looked back, same as always. Tired eyes, messy hair. But for a split second, it wasn't me. The face shifted, just enough to be someone else, someone with my features but sharper, older. Clara? I blinked, and it was gone, my own face again, pale and shaken. I backed away, the note crumpling in my hand. This wasn't grief. This wasn't a glitch. Something was happening. Something tied to Clara, to Dad's secrets, to me. My phone buzzed in my pocket, and I nearly dropped the note. Another voicemail. Timestamp, 5:03 p.m., minutes ago. I hadn't heard it ring. I hit play, my pulse roaring in my ears. It was my voice again, but this time it wasn't a whisper. It was calm, almost gentle. "She's not in the house. She's in you. Ask yourself who you are." The line went dead. I sank onto the bed, the note still in my hand. "You're her. You always were." The journal had said Dad left a daughter behind. Clara's daughter. Me? No, that didn't make sense. I was Mom's, born years after Clara. But the photo, the resemblance, the voicemails, they were pulling at something buried, something I didn't want to see. Was I Clara's daughter, hidden in plain sight? Or was this something else, something in me that wasn't me at all? A creak downstairs snapped me out of it. Not the house settling, deliberate, like a footstep. I grabbed the flashlight and crept to the top of the stairs, listening. Another creak, closer. "Who's there?" I called, my voice thinner than I wanted. No answer, but the air shifted, colder now. I descended slowly, the flashlight beam cutting through the dark. The kitchen light was on. I hadn't touched it. At the table, the backpack was back, unzipped. The journal opened to a page I hadn't seen. Dad's handwriting, frantic. "Clara found me. She says she's not alone. I can't let her near you." Next to it, in fresher ink, was a single word. "Sorry." The front door was wide open, the storm's wind rattling the frame. I wasn't alone, and neither was she. The open front door swayed in the storm's grip, rain spitting across the threshold. The word sorry, inked on the journal, burned in my mind. Dad's frantic note about Clara, she's not alone, twisting with the voicemail's claim, she's in you. My flashlight beam trembled as I scanned the kitchen, the creak of footsteps now silent, but their echo lingering. Whoever or whatever had been here wanted me to see this, to know something about Clara, about myself. I had to end this, here now. I stepped toward the door, the wind howling like a warning, but stopped at the table. The photo of Clara and Dad was gone from the backpack, replaced by something new, a small, tarnished locket. I clicked it open. Inside was a tiny photo of a baby, no older than a year, with my eyes. My breath caught. On the back, etched faintly, C to C, Clara to me, or her daughter. My legs felt unsteady, but I pocketed the locket, grabbed the journal, and moved toward the door, driven by a need to face whatever was pulling me apart. Outside, the storm raged, trees bending under the wind's fury. The flashlight caught something, a figure at the edge of the yard, near the old oak where Dad used to hang my swing. Not moving, just standing, rain-soaked and still. My heart pounded, but I walked toward it, the journal clutched to my chest, the locket heavy in my pocket. "Who are you?" I shouted, voice nearly lost in the wind. The figure turned and I froze. It was me, or close enough to make my skin crawl. Same height, same build, but her face was sharper, her eyes darker, like the mirrors flicker in my room. She held the missing photo of Clara and Dad, rain blurring the image. "You're late," she said, her voice mine but not mine, layered with something older, sadder. "I've been waiting." "Who are you?" I repeated, stepping closer, the flashlight shaking. "Clara's daughter?" She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "Clara's daughter is you, always was, but I'm what you buried, what he buried." She gestured to the house, to Dad's memory. "You were never your mother's. Clara gave you up and he took you in, gave you a new name, a new past, but you can't erase what's true." I shook my head, the journal slipping to the wet grass. "Number I'm Mom's. I have her laugh, her stories." "Lies," she cut in, stepping closer. "Clara tracked him down when you were 6. She begged to see you, but he refused, said you were his fresh start. She broke, and I stayed with you. In your dreams, your blackouts, your voicemails, you've always felt me, haven't you?" The voicemails. My voice, but hers. The note. You're her. The locket. My mind reeled, memories flickering. Nightmares of a woman crying, gaps in my childhood I'd never questioned. Dad. Unease when I asked about my early years. "You're saying I'm not me?" I whispered. "You're both," she said, softer now, almost pitying. "You're the girl he raised and you're Clara's. But I'm the part that knows it all, the anger, the truth. I left the voicemails to wake you up. Clara's gone, but she wanted you to know. I'm here to make sure you do." Lightning cracked, illuminating her face, and for a moment, she was Clara from the photo, young and desperate. Then she was me again. "What do you want?" I asked, voice breaking. "For you to stop running," she said. "Live it. The truth doesn't change who you love, but it changes what you owe. To Clara, to yourself, to me." I sank to my knees, the journal soaked, the locket digging into my palm. "How do I do that?" She knelt in front of me, her hand hovering over mine, but not touching. "You already are. You found me." She glanced at the house, the door still open, light spilling out. "Go back inside. Keep the locket. Read the journal. Then decide who you'll be." The wind died for a moment, and she was gone. No footsteps, no trace. Just the photo fluttering to the ground. I picked it up, Clara's face staring back, and stumbled back to the house, rain mixing with tears. Inside, I locked the door, sank to the floor, and opened the journal again. Dad's words blurred. "Clara found me. I can't let her near you, but below it, in that fresher ink, a new line. I'm sorry I lied. You're hers too." The locket felt warm now, grounding. I didn't know if she, Clara, her daughter, me, was a ghost, a fractured part of my mind, or something else. But she was right. I'd felt her all my life, in the gaps, the dreams, the voicemails. I wasn't just Dad's daughter or Mom's. I was Clara's too, and mine. I stood, the storm quieter now, and set the locket on the table. Tomorrow I'd call June, ask for the whole truth. I'd track down Clara's story, maybe find her grave, her daughter's name, my name. I'd live it, all of it, the love and the lies. My phone stayed silent, No new voicemails. For the first time in days, I felt alone and whole.